Okay, so in this example, let's take a look at using the built-in audio editor from within Presenter 09 to make some really basic audio edits. And specifically, we want to use it to remove breaths from our narration, right? Because we don't always have access to a pro studio and maybe some engineers to monitor our session. Sometimes these breaths are going to be overwhelming or more distracting than they normally could be. So the cool thing is that we don't need to export our audio or go out to a more advanced audio editor. All this is built into Presenter 09. So it's really great from a workflow perspective because I can now make these quick edits to my audio, get right back into authoring the course and move on. So let's take a look at how that works. So we just want to click the Articulate menu to bring open the audio editor, which is right here. And from the audio editor, let's just go ahead and select a slide. So slide 1. Now breaths are really easy to recognize. They look like little waveforms, usually sandwiched in between the larger waveforms. So I can see there's one right there, there's one right there, another one right there. And depending on our recording and depending on the environment it was recorded in, that will really influence which of the three methods we use. And we'll show you all three in this example. So let's just go ahead and play one so we all can know what they sound like. Chances are it won't be at a good time. That's a breath. So we zoom in a little bit closer right here. Play it again. That's it. Okay, we have three methods or three options for removing that, right? We could just delete it. Just, click that, just splices that right out of the track. We could insert silence, just insert 100% silence, and we have the option of controlling how much of the reduction. We can reduce the volume a certain amount, a certain percentage. Each of these methods has its advantages and disadvantages. Delete. Good thing about it, it's gone. There's no reduction necessary. It just cuts it right out of there. What's the downside? Downside is if my pacing is great, with my words, my sentences are all humming along at a really good pace, and now I delete a chunk of audio out of that, I've now brought these closer, right? The end of this word is now much closer to the beginning of this one. And chances are it won't be at a good time. I can hear some of you saying, all right, so there's a pause there, but it's a pause between sentences and thoughts, probably a break in the paragraph. If I bring these closer, I'm going to be bringing this new thought, this new paragraph or sentence, right much closer to the heels of the end of this one. Could really affect my pacing. It might not even sound natural. So that's a downside with delete. I typically won't delete. Tell me that the only times I delete is if there's an excessive amount of space between the recordings, say the narrator takes a break. That's a good time to do a delete. So that leaves us with two options. We can insert silence and completely remove any noise, or we can adjust how much to reduce. A couple benefits for reduce, a couple instances where I'd reduce silence. If I have a really good recording with no background noise over here, if I play this, you won't hear anything. It's a really good recording. I can hit silence and I'll be fine. That's because there really isn't a background hum or noise level consistent throughout the entire recording. It's a great recording. Silence will be fine here. Hit silence and it's gone. But if you're working in an environment where there is a little bit of background noise that you can't get rid of for the session, and you hit silence, so let me just play this real quick. I don't know if that's coming through, but there's a little bit of hum and computer fan noise in the background. If I come in here and I just hit silence right here, I've actually done the opposite, right? I have a consistent hum or a little bit of fan or ambient noise, and then all of a sudden I jacked it down to complete silence. So we're going to have the opposite effect. It's going to be even more annoying because now it's what you accepted as the normal background sound has been completely removed. That's not a good option here. So if you have a recording with a little bit of background noise and you have an audio breath that you want to remove, best option there is to select it and then hit volume and maybe reduce it, 70% just to start. And look at that, it's blending a lot better with the ambient noise. Okay, so maybe I want to go down just a little bit farther than 70. Try that again. About 85 or so. There we go. If I play it, everything blends in a lot better. So just based on your recording and how you want to affect your audio track will determine whether you delete it, silence it, or reduce the volume.